let me start again. So we say that intensity. So it's just a kind of discussion on this. Intensity of sound is, like I said, measured in watts per meter square. So what is the reason for the meter square to be there over here? So we can examine it in many ways, but one of the ways in which you are saying is that let's do in a way reductio ad absurdum. If we don't take it as meter square, what will be the consequence of this? So sound that is produced at one place, let's say that somebody is shouting, okay, and let's say that the sound that he is producing is something in the order of, like, how much? Give me a number. A motorcycle or a car, as the textbook says. Something like an 80 decibel, no, vacuum cleaner, 60 decibels. Oh, 60 decibels. Is it possible for people to shout at 60 decibels?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean.
Should be, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So 60 decibels corresponds to how much? 10⁻⁷ watts per meter square. Sorry, -7. Okay. So we are trying to understand why the meter square is important over here. So Ishan is suggesting that if the meter square is not there, then certain things will become harder to explain. Like if you think that the sound that is produced by this person at the source, okay, is 10⁻⁷ joules per second, is converting per second. Now the sound energy, which let's say a moment later, whatever the time interval is like a small bubble of air which is compressed. So the compression has reached that point. Okay. A very short while later, the compression would have reached somewhere like around that much. I mean, we can't go into the ground, but okay, if I have to show it, you have to show it like this. It's a 3-dimensional sphere. Okay, and this is the compression, and a little while later the compression has reached another level, and a little while later it has reached another level, and so on. Okay, each one of these you have to imagine it like a bubble of air. All right, now another person at a distance over here listens to the sound. Okay, and we have to assume that this is some large distance, not very large, but some large distance. Or okay, let's make it interesting. So there is a hill or something like that, and there is a person over here who is trying to listen to it. Okay, and part of this energy bubble which started over here has reached this point, something like that. Can you see this? Now the question is, when the sound reaches that person's ear, will all of the 10⁻⁷ joules per second reach there?
No.
No.
Obviously not. Correct? So what part of the energy will reach his ear? The person who is listening. So this is the person A who made the sound, and this is person B who is hearing the sound. So what part of the energy will reach him or her? This person has become something like a dwarf. Just draw him better. So this bubble that is reaching him of high pressure. So the bubble is in all directions, right? So it's like a sphere like this. So what part of this energy, 10 power minus 7 watts, joules per second, is reaching that person, B? Come on, give some direction, think about it.
What will be the ratio between the surface areas?
Surface area of?
the first whatever sphere kind of thing. There is 10 to the power minus 7. Like 1 meter square. So it will be 1 meter square upon the surface area of the bigger sphere.
No, see, so the thing is that, let us say that this innermost sphere that is there over here, it has a surface area of 1 square meter.
Yeah.
Okay, so as the sphere expands, the amount of energy which is there in this, which is 10 power minus 7 watts per meter square, right? The same amount of energy will continue everywhere, right? At best. So the outermost bubble that has reached this person now, the entire bubble is carrying how much energy?
It'll be basically 1 meter square upon the surface area of the whole sphere, right? Into 10 to the power minus 7, because that's the amount of energy that 1 meter square will carry in the outer sphere.
Exactly. So you are saying it in a slightly more complicated way, but I am saying, what I am trying to say is that in a simpler way of looking at it, the entire bubble, that is all the particles that are participating in this process in the outermost bubble, also will obviously carry the same amount of energy at best. That is accounting for zero losses. Okay. So therefore, the amount of energy that is reaching this person will be the amount of energy that is proportionate to the surface area of his eardrum. Do you get that point?
So will it be like 10 to the power minus 7 divided by the distance? Like say it's 10 meters. It's not 10 meters still. Like
Not distance between these two people. It will be the amount of energy that is carried by this bubble in its entire surface area divided by the surface area of his ear.
oh, okay.
I mean, sorry, the other way around, in proportion. So let us say that the distance from this person to that that bubble is what does it look like? Does it look like something like 30 meters? Okay, so the surface area of this bubble now, or rather the the surface area of the bubble, which will be what, 4 by 3 pi r cube. Am I right? Surface area of a sphere.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will be 4 by 3 pi r cubed. Hey, cubed will be the volume, man. I want the surface area. I think it's just 4 pi r. Oh,
Must be square then.
square, yeah. But it will be 4 pi r square. Am I correct?
I think 4 by 3 in the physics test in first term you told us it's 4 by 3.
The surface area of a sphere of radius r will be exactly the same as the surface area of a cylinder.
Yeah, it's 4 pi r square.
Yeah.
That's 4 only, not 4.
Minus the two top parts.
So it's 4 pi r square.
4 pi r square. Incidentally, there is a very nice video recently released. What is the channel called? 3 blue, 1 brown.
On ground.
Very nice argument for why the sphere surface area is the same as the cylinder when you open it up. Okay, so if you then open up this cylinder, the length of the cylinder will be 2 pi r, correct, and the height will be 2r. So therefore it will be 4 pi r square. That's why you get 4 pi r square. Anyway, that's not the point. The surface area of this entire circle will be 4 pi 30 square. Okay, and the amount of energy it contained will be 10 power minus 7 watts, joules per second. We can keep it as just joules for the time being. The surface of this person's ear drum in 1 year, okay, I would put it approximately 2 millimeters square. Yeah, it's very small. Does anybody have any figures confirming or not confirming that? This is a guess for me. 2 square millimeters. I can't imagine it would be much larger than that.
What are we looking for, sir, again? 2 millimeters square.
Surface area of a human being's eardrum. The approximate surface area of a human being's eardrum. Okay, so whatever it is, when you work out this unitary,
65 mm square.
sorry,
Like on Google, 65 mm square.
yeah,
6 mm, yeah.
it's more like 6 mm. Saumi, I couldn't hear
65, sir.
5 to 6 mm.
5.
So I didn't go too far back. 5 mm square, let me keep it like that. Then however, whatever unitary method, when you solve this problem, you will find that the amount of energy that is reaching that person's ear is very, very small. And of course, some amplification will take place because of the brain and all that. But that is another matter altogether. I just wanted to discuss in terms of per square meter. Why do we talk in terms of watts per square meter, right? Otherwise, what will happen is if the energy carries, so if the energy that is reaching this person is also 10 power minus 7 watts or joules per second, then the person will hear it with the same intensity that is produced over here. Okay, so when this person hears it at a much lower intensity, that is why he hears it as a fainter sound. Okay, why? Because the amount of energy is distributed over the entire sound bubble, and the amount that is reaching his ear is only the one that is proportionate to 5 square millimeters. So obviously it's going to be a fraction of this. Yes, Sonia, you wanted to ask something.
That's okay.
You got the point?
Yeah.
Anybody else has any other question about this? So we have to be clear why watts and why per square meter. The rest of it is fairly straightforward in this particular discussion. Nothing? We'll move on. Okay.